This week we are going to make a masculine Valentine with the fabulous Authentique Mister collection. This is just a phenomenal collection. I think it came out in 2017. Let me see, 2019, so not that much of a throw. But anyway, it's a great masculine collection. And I was cleaning up the desk and had a leftover piece of couple of pieces of craft cardstock, and rather than toss them in the scrap bin, I went ahead and designed a quick little flip folio. And this is just, it's not dimensional, it's just flat. So I'll show you real quickly how to make it. And you can use scraps and you can change the size. Mine is 5.5. And then I had a 12-inch piece of cardstock and another, probably 7-inch piece. And I just joined them together with score tape. And you've seen me do that before, where you just line them up. And then bring in your scoring tool and lay the long side on your scoring tool, and you're going to score at 2 3/4, 6.5. Then I squeeze this up into the corner, and I did 5.5 and 10. And then this creates this lovely little flip fold kind of card, which is fun to open and fun to make. The first thing we're going to do is add a magnet here and here so that the card will close properly. These are basic gray large disc magnets. They're a little bit hard to find, but if you look at Button Farm Club, they carry them. I'm trying to think, sometimes you can find them on Joann.com. Country Craft Creations has a great assortment of these. They have a lot of them, last time I checked anyway. So what I did was I just adhered my negative magnet down. Here comes the positive. Peel off the backing and just flip this over to here, and there you go. You've got your magnetic closure. And I always like to put just a little bit of score tape down to ensure that if that adhesive on the magnet wears out, my magnet is not going to slip and fall. So this is like a gatefold opening, and the very first thing we're going to do is the inside, because that's where I like to start on my cards. The center panel is 5.5 by 5.5, so I cut 5 3/8 by 5 3/8, and we're just going to adhere this down. We're going to make a little pocket right here. And you can use whatever masculine collection you have. I think masculine Valentines are always really hard to do because, you know, we like all the roses, and I'm just going to put a piece of paper into there. It's hard for me to see, make sure I'm getting straight because my mat is tan and my paper is tan, so that just helped me out there a little bit. And then to make the pocket, I cut a 6 3/8 by, I think this is 3.5. And again, I'm just going to bring in my scoring tool. Y'all have seen me. Those of you who have seen me make pockets a million times, you can go get a cup of coffee or something. Now, when it's an odd measurement, I don't have an 1/8 inch. Like, I don't have 1/8 inch increments. So I just go up to the half, score, then come back up here to this, you know, to a full mark, and then just go to a half and score. And then I bring in my scissors. Well, first I'm going to score it, burnish it along the fold lines rather. And I left the branding strip on here because that's going to be folded back. And it saves me a 1/2 inch of paper that might come in handy in another spot in another project. But, you know, you can use, like I said, I'm working with scraps here. So you work with what you've got. All right, then come in with your adhesive, and you can use whatever adhesive you like. I like Art Institute Dries Clear because it is strong. I have great control with that narrow spout, and you can see I just folded these in. I trimmed out the corners, and then this pocket is going to sit right here, just like that. Very nice. And then to go in the pocket, I have a little chocolate. My husband likes dark chocolate, so that's what's going in there. And then my husband is also a reader. So I came up with a little bookmark design. And this is just, again, working with the scraps that I had. This was 3 1/4 by 5 1/4 of the Spectrum. I can't remember if it's navy or if it's some other cool name, but anyway, it's navy. And I matted that with a 3 by 5, and I used this crocodile. I used the stub corner punch to do the little shaped corners. And then I took a smaller piece of the navy. The smaller piece is 2 3/4 by 4 3/4, and then I took a little scrap of this wood grain. My husband's a construction guy, so that's kind of cool for him. 2 1/2 by 4 1/2. And I just matted these together. Now I did not glue here because this is how this works. It's really cool. This will slip over the book page, so it won't fall out, which is kind of a nifty design. I punched a hole, added an eyelet, threaded this ribbon through, added a little lobster clasp that I got at Butterbee Scraps, and these cute little vintage tools. So that's what works for my husband. You probably know what your husband would like. So let's decorate this up. And there's a great sticker sheet. So I'm just going to take these stickers. I'm going to lay them down. And I'm keeping everything kind of flat here because in a book, you want it to go in there flat. But I meant to do this. You can ink the edges, and that helps the individual patterns pop a little bit more. I love Authentique stickers because they're really thick, like cardstock weight. They're not thin and flimsy. I hate thin, flimsy stickers. So these are great. And I'm pretty sure you can still get Mr. Easily. Check Country Craft Creations. Tamara usually has a fantastic supply of Authentique papers. And then just this little vintage car. Again, I'm just going to ink the edges real quick to help that layer pop. So all I did was create a little 1/2-inch flap back here to glue this panel to this panel. And then that left this open. And I didn't do any fancy stitching because seriously, my husband's not gonna appreciate it anyway. But this goes, I mean, he's a great guy, but you know, sometimes I think we expect our husbands to like all these girly things, and it's just not gonna happen. So that goes in there. And then I like this sticker. This says nothing but time and memories to make. We're going on 44 years. So hopefully we have lots of time left to make lots of good memories. So I'm going to put that there. And usually there's a little round, yeah, here's a little tiny heart. And I'm just going to stick on the top like that. So there's the center pocket, super easy. And you can dress yours up however you like. So this is a little side pocket. This is actually where I'm going to put the chocolate. I had a scrap of this gingham, and I'm just going to put this down. Oops, yeah, okay. Actually, I did not measure a big enough piece. So, good for you to see. that, sometimes you have to think on your feet. Let's see. Let's do this in here. And let's do the gray side. So I'm just gonna overlap. Make sure I can close my pocket, line things up, and there we go, crisis averted. Just, I want it to be straight. My husband really notices crooked. Now for this pocket, I just cut a couple of little, I think these are like 1.5 by 1, and I folded them in half, and then these are like little gussets, that's what I call them anyway. And this makes it so that you can fit more inside that pocket without straining the seam. And then I just cut this little piece, because you guys like measurements. Now I've lost my ruler. Here we go. This little piece is 1 3/8 by 5 3/8. All the height measurements are 5 3/8 because that is the height of the card. So there's that panel all done, and then your chocolate slips right in here. And then I'm going to take this cute sticker that says, let me use this one, my man, put that here, and then I'm going to take this guy in a top hat and add him right here. Ink him up first. So you can see I'm creating it as I go, and you all know me well enough that things can get a little bit crazy when I do that. And then here's just another sticker that I'm added on scraps. And let's put this right here. That's kind of cute. I like that. Now over here, oops, we'll leave that out till the end. Over here we have a fun little flap page. And what we're going to do first is remove this. And my husband's a reader, so I chose this fun book paper. And line this up. I should have used a different crafting mat because this craft on craft is hard to see, for me anyway. Then on the inside I cut this great denim piece to fit this panel. And you'll just measure your panels, because I gave you the measurements, and just cut your paper slightly smaller. And see, that looks really pretty. All right, let's change things. I like that. It's not about where you go, but who you travel with. That is really good. Okay, so I chose this pinstripe, 2 5/8 by 5 3/8. And this is going to go right here. And now let's do Nothing But Time and Memories to Make. Let's put that right here. Husband. World's Greatest. So that's a fun spot. Then this closes. See that magnet, that's why I used a big one, because I knew it was going to have to hold. Then this page, this is heavy cardstock too. This page is 4 1/4. Is that what I got this to? 4 1/4 by 5 3/8, and I chose this tulle pattern. Now, if you wanted to add a photo, you could choose the faux leather on the back. And we're just going to line this up. Like that. Let me take this guy out for a minute. There we go. That makes life better. And then I love this one. It's no myth. That man is a legend. My husband is just the best guy in the world. He has been so good to our family. And I am ever thankful for him. So that'd be another great spot to put a little photo. And then this just closes like this. And we're on the front cover already. So over here, I took some scraps. This is from the little 6x6 bundle. And this brown panel is 3 5/8 by 5 3/8. And then I cut this little paisley, found this, this was actually just a scrap. I didn't cut it, but it happened to fit. So I was like, yippee. That's gonna go like that. And then this stripe, same width. And we're just gonna line these up. Isn't that cute? I like that. Then this is one of the 3x4 sentiments. I matted it on antique lace, a scrap of antique lace spectrum, and then a piece of navy that I had laying around. I punched holes and added these little tool brads. And before we add that, I'm going to take this ribbon. I love how this ribbon matches. And a 1/2 inch piece of score tape. I think you're going to like this. This is pretty cool. And this is a great way to add ribbon and texture to a masculine card without making it frilly. So peel off the liner. Lay down this ribbon, and I will link on my blog so that you can find all this stuff. Trim that. And then this is from the Really Reasonable Ribbon February Ribbon Club collection. Look how fun that looks together. I just love that. And this is going to dress this up without making it girly. Alright, so that was 1/4 inch score tape that I just put down there. Then we're going to put this great chevron print ribbon on top of that. Trim. Wrap this around the back. Easy peasy. And then this is a little Tim Holtz belt buckle. I don't know what he calls these. They have a name. I call them belt buckles. They're not belt buckles, obviously. But they look like them, so I love to use them on masculine cards. This is a power punch because getting through that ribbon can be tricky. So I'm going to come down about a 1/2 inch and punch. Put this here. Then a little copper brad. And I kind of wanted this to be on the diag, but it's not going to work, so it'll just have to be square. Open up the brad legs. Now we can take this and adhere it. And we want to do about 2/3. We want to add adhesive to about 2/3 of it because it's going to overhang. So line this up with our ribbon. Center it top and bottom. Cute, cute, cute. Just inking my edges here real quick. And adding my adhesive. This is just going to cover up those brad legs and all that naked cardstock, because you will see this when you turn the card. And I didn't worry about this part over here because this is going to be adhered to the front of the card. So now I'm just going to put my adhesive. This time I'm going to do my adhesive on the empty panel. Then I'm going to place this here. And look, that is a great masculine Valentine, and not hard to do. It's just a matter of cutting and measuring, adding your magnets. You can customize this. This little guy goes in this pocket, and I did a little sentiment panel so I can write a mushy note and stick it in with the card. And then our chocolate goes in over here, and the whole thing just folds up, and there you go. Happy Valentine's Day. Fun, right? I love it. So thanks for joining me for another Throwback Thursday. Again, you'll be able to find linked supply list for the things that are still available on my blog at kathybydesign.com. And now I am going to go get my craft on. Bye.